It's the warm up on this wonderful Sunday afternoon. It's that old school kind of feel. Mhm. That's it. That's it. That's it. Hey, it's funny how music can talk to us without even a word. It can put us in a mood without even a word. Well, well, well. Welcome to this unexpected impromptu Sunday edition of Radford Real Talk. And this is a special edition, actually. This is something that I plan to do sometimes as well, where I have things on my mind, on my heart that I want to say. But I call this edition the She Shed. The She Shed. Just like men can have a man cave, this is the She Shed. And during those She Shed moments, we will have conversations about things that us women may go through, experience, things that may be on our mind, things to just inspire us and, just grow together. That's the purpose of the She Shed. We just let our hair down and do us. And I wanted to start today by talking about removing the cape. Removing the cape. That is actually the She Shed topic today. And it was on my heart to do because, as women, we are innately nurturers. We're innate, meaning we're born that way, and that's instilled within us. So to nurture, to care, to have compassion, to love, to take care of you, things, whomever that may be, and whatever it is, it's for the most part for most women. It's not a true effort that we have to force ourselves to take care of people, take care of things, and it's a true blessing that we have that's a special trait that us women carry. And however, although that's a special trait, knowing how to work it, I learned is a key of sharing that and having that characteristic. And removing the cape was on my heart because we often, we're wearing it day in and day out. That cape is the symbolization of superwoman, and society will paint this picture that we have to look a certain way, do this, do that, do everything, take care of everybody, then take care of us, take care of the house, work our careers, work out, eat right, and get the kids ready, put them to bed, feed the dog, you name it, we do it. And, society has supported that and continues to put pressure on us women to do those things, and here's the thing, many of us we wear many hats, effortlessly. That's just what we do. We make shit happen. And it's an amazing trait to have because guess what? Our men, our spouses, may be the head of the household, but I always say we're the neck. One can't stand, without the other. And that neck is the support. And, it is so important to practice the two things that I'm really big on, as women, but not only for women, but men as well. And there'll be a conversation for another day. But the two B's, be like boy, the two B's is what people that know me, you're hearing me talk about a lot. And that is balance and boundaries. And, Man, we have to have that. It is so crucial to have those two B's, because we can be sitting here taking care of everything and everybody else. And the purpose that we are put on this earth is not being fulfilled because we're so depleted, we're tired, we're over it, we are just literally out of it, and we have to learn how to implement those boundaries and having the balance. And the purpose of a boundary is to teach people how we expect to be treated, and people will do what we allow them to do. And learning the word no is truly, a big thing that we need to know how to do. And that's both men and women. But, this is the she shed. So I'm talking to my ladies today. We have to learn how to do that. We have to learn how to express what we do want, what we don't want, and how we feeling, you know, at that specific moment. And what I've learned is delivery is everything. How we say it is is the key. And so by me doing what I do for a living as a helping professional, and I'm naturally a motivator. That's what I do. God has given me words and a gift of speech and words and even my thought process. But one of the things that I've learned when I got married is, early on I had to learn that although my words can encourage, it can tear down as well. And learning how to deliver certain statements, not only how to deliver, but also when to deliver it, was something that, with time and with experience and with, my husband, I had to kind of gauge that. I had to learn how to do that. And, I feel that learning that and being open to receiving it, although I didn't want to, because we don't nobody want to hear what they're doing wrong. We and don't nobody want to hear what they're doing wrong, and nobody wants to uh, be wrong. And in order to grow, we have to hear those things that hurt and that may sting sometimes. And being open to that, that's what grows you as a person, and that's what grows a marriage as well. And I had to receive what hurt in order to grow. I didn't want to accept that. But when you really sit with it and reflect on the meaning behind it, it's everything. And I learned that we as women, we have such a power. We have a major power, because we can build our man up. The world beats them down, but we can say just one thing and their chest gets blowed up like a balloon. At the same time, it's also like we could put a pin in it and pop the balloon with something that we say. It could be a look, it could be body language, it could be any of that, and those are lessons that I've had to learn, and I've learned throughout my life. And I try to be aware and cognizant of my tone, my movements, and because what I want or what I'm trying to get across, it will be received better. And that's something as women, I feel we have to learn how to do, especially, Black women, because we are often stereotyped as being aggressive. And, a part of this boundaries and balance is understanding that there's a difference between aggression and assertiveness. And that goes back to body language. It goes back to tone. It goes back to timing of what you're saying and how you're saying it. Also, what you're choosing to speak on. And, assertiveness is a boundary. It is expressing what your expectations are. And it also emphasizes what you're going to tolerate. And it's just so important for us to exercise our words in a way that it can be received. Because guess what? We get what we want when we do that, and learning how to be strategic about the way that we implement boundaries. And that's that learning to say no. Going back to that, we're often struggle with people pleasing. because we want to make everybody happy, and then we go without. And then before you know it, we lose ourselves because we're taking care of everything and everybody else. And then that's when sometimes depression creeps in. That's when anxiety creeps in because we're living our lives and doing the things that other people want us to do as opposed to what's in our heart, you know? And that goes back to fulfilling that why. We have to be able to be utilized to fulfill why we are here. And we are vessels that, we move day in and day out, but we move with the purpose within us. But if we're so exhausted and just out of it, we're just really existing. We ain't living, and that goes back to the importance of why we have to implement balance and boundaries and take care of us, finding out what that is. And guess what? We change over time. So what used to work, for a period of time, it might not work anymore, and it's okay. And that's why we have to take that time to really study ourselves and learn us and learn what puts a smile on our face, learn what gives us peace and rest, and it's different for everybody, and so for example, for myself, I love the PlayStation. People that know me know that I love gaming, um, fishing, sleep, rest, shows, coloring, those type of things that may see or seem simple, but it means so much, and it fills you up. It gives you a peace, and finding those things to do where you don't have to always be out, because sometimes we don't want to be. And, making it known, hey, this is my time to, color, to play my game, to whether it's to get my nails and feet and all that done or whatever the case may be. This is that time, and scheduling it like it's a bill or something, um, or an actual event. That is your self-care time. And sometimes we're so busy as women that we really have to do that and let everybody know, but we got to stick to it, because guess what? As soon as we choose not to do it or get in the routine of not doing it, other things will fill our plate. And once again, we're back in that pattern of not having the time and the things that we need for us. And, for me, nails and pedicures and all that, they're great. I get it done, but it's more like checking a box for me. It's not therapeutic for me. It's more like, another task that I have to do. So you have to find what works for you. The other thing is, you know, when it comes to the balance part, we're working Monday through Friday, whether it's outside of the home, in the home, homemakers, whatever. And, you know, scheduling, whether it's date nights, being intentional about that to keep the spark in our relationships, in our marriages, having that conversation and that talk with our spouses to just check in. Hey, how you doing today? Tell me about your day. How were you feeling? Those types of things to check in, because we can be like ships passing in the night if you're not careful. And before you know it, you don't know who the hell you married to. And then not only that, you don't even know who the hell you are, because you haven't really taken that time to check in on you. And having those conversations, doing a self check on yourself, getting into therapy. And I'm so big on that, not only just because I'm a therapist, but because it's all about us. I've never been the type to really care for group therapy, for as far as me being in it, because I always felt like, by me always giving and pouring into people, I'm really listening to them. To my therapist hat, it's more difficult to take that off when I'm in a room. And that's sometimes where we have to know and understand our gift and know and understand what works for us. So me having a one-on-one therapist is wonderful. It's refreshing because it's all about me for that 50 minutes. That 45 to 50 minutes, I could just throw up and release the things that I need to release without any judgment. I can say what I want, how I want to say it, and it's just, it feels so damn good. And that goes back to the balance of, the day in and day out, but also the balance of just being, you know, and just getting to know you and your household. and what your visions are, what you want, that changes over time. I tell a lot of the couples that I've worked with, you have to communicate, because one moment you might like chocolates, the next moment you might not like chocolates anymore. You might like flowers. We change. We change. And, our love languages can also change. And, so just being in tune to who we are and what we want. And, in reference to those goals and visions as women, it's so important for us to have our own goals and our own visions. It's our job as wives, of course, to support the visions of our spouses, whatever their goals are, to lead us in a positive way. We are to support that in the best way possible. However, we are also responsible for having our own goals and also our own visions, and being able to balance that. That's the other side of the balance piece, where if we're not careful, we won't have that vision anymore, because we're blinded by the vision of our spouses. So that's something that, we have to keep in the forefront of our mind, and, and in our face, and being intentional about doing something to work on whatever your goal or whatever that vision is that you have for yourself. I always, I always knew that I wanted to be a therapist. I was always the one that people would come and talk to, even as a little girl. you know, um, People, even adults, would talk to me. It was funny. So I kind of knew that I was born for this thing. And, I was very goal oriented and determined to be the best that I could be as a therapist. And, when I got with my husband before we got married and we were dating, and when he came around, I told him, and one of the things I told him was, I'm with you because I want you, not because I need you. And that right there, that goes back to the assertiveness, right? And also the boundaries, because I was letting him know that, hey, I'm working on me. These are my goals. These are my visions. This is what I want. This is how I see my life in the future, right now and in the future. And, if you're not rocking with me, you are, going against me. And my ship ain't going, it ain't gonna move like that. So, and it wasn't being smart. It was just saying, hey, this is what I want to do. We're a partnership. So when I'm strong and I'm pushing and I'm goal oriented, and you're doing the same thing, that is the ingredients of a power couple. And it was a respect there. He couldn't do nothing but respect that, because I was always a go getter. And I come from a strong line of women that are all go getters in my family. So it's like I'm just born that way. But it was a respect there. One of the things that that I always tell my women that I work with is, we have to treat ourselves like those expensive cars, Ferrari, Rolls Royce, Bentleys, those cars like that. You don't see commercials for them. When you really sit back and think about it, you do not see commercials for them. They don't market themselves all the time, on display. And why is that? The reason is because of the value. The value is so priceless that they don't have to market themselves, and as women, we have to be able to do that as well. Everybody doesn't get to experience us. They should not. Everybody should not get to experience us because of the value within us and how we carry ourselves. And we have to begin to believe that about us, because then when you do, you ain't gonna tolerate anything. And, certain things that you're not gonna put up with. And you're going to implement those boundaries and no longer settle. Not only just not talking about relationship, but just in life in general, as far as career, as far as your growth as a woman, you're not going to settle because of the expectations that you've placed on yourself. So, those are just some of those things that we have to be very, very aware of. And one of the things that I had to learn is, how to still be goal oriented, have a vision, but be able to let my husband be a man and lead me. And, being independent for so long, for so many years, I didn't ask a man for anything I didn't have to, and I would work my butt off to get the things that I needed, to get the things that I wanted, and for many years before my husband came along, I lived by myself and I would work, I don't care how many hours or how many jobs to make sure that rent was paid, and I may not have had everything that I wanted. I might have to eat cereal sometimes. I might have to, eat things that I didn't want sometimes. But guess what? When I put that kid in the door, it was worth it. And it was mine, and I learned that, I had to release that independence to where it took away my husband's manhood, where I had to learn to let him lead me. And that took practice, it really did, because I was just so used to just making it happen. And, it could be small stuff like opening a jar, um, reaching to get something. It would be small things that I knew all I had to do was get the step stool or get a dishcloth and do it. I began to train myself to ask for help, because I didn't do that. I didn't have to do that before. And it's the small things that make them feel appreciated, and being too independent it could be a turnoff. And having to learn that it's okay to allow that man to leave if they're leading positively. That's the caveat there. But as women, we have to be very aware. We have to take time for ourselves. We have to love on us. We have to say no and be very weary of what we call compassion fatigue. And that's when you care so much that you become just burnt out and you don't give a damn anymore. And, people are going to always pull, pull, pull. And I used to have a saying like, it's almost like a clay pot, right? Like you will be pouring and pouring in others, and they don't even realize that your pot is cracked and leaking, or dried out. Their cups are still out. And that's a part where those boundaries once again come into place. And we have to be in a place where we recognize when we're fatigued and tired and when we're burnt, and separate ourselves to regroup, and regenerate, and with that compassion fatigue thing, because we care so much for everybody and trying to take care of everybody. Imagine a person like drowning in water and their hand is out, and they're hollering out to you, and you go to the water. Now, mind you, you're not tip top shape, energetic, don't have the adequate rest, depleted, but you still grab that person. If you're not careful, that person who's drowning will take you down with them, because you're not grounded. And we have to be very aware of that. We have to be, especially women, when we get in our relationships and marriages, we have to be grounded, because guess what? It's not just our stuff that we got to deal with. We got to take on their baggage too, and be willing to help them unpack it, be that support while they're unpacking. We both come into relationships with baggage. But if you're not grounded, yours will still be loaded while we're helping that other person unpack theirs, and then we'll walk around bitter and mad as hell and frustrated, because we've spent so much time giving that we forgot about ourselves, So I just felt today was a good day to talk about this topic, removing the cape. And please know that it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to say no. It's okay to rest when you need to. It is okay. If you don't want to go out with, whomever, whenever, don't go. Chill. Do you, do you. And so for myself, because I give all day, Monday through Friday, for my line of work, I have to be able to separate myself to be used and rest and regroup for Monday. So sometimes I'm so depleted by Thursday that when Friday comes, I'm out of it, but I love it. I love what I do and it's my calling. But having to have that balance to rest, is crucial because I couldn't operate in my purpose if I did not take that time to break away, and do me. And we still got to sit here and take care of our spouses when we get home, regardless of how tired we are, and some of that taken care of. I'm not just talking about house stuff. I'm talking about emotionally being there to listen and support and encourage as well. We have to still be on. We can't give everybody our time, our attention, and our support outside of our home and come home and don't do anything. Absolutely not. We can't do that. We can't do that. And so I just wanted to get this off of my heart today because it was something that was on me to talk about. And we're going to do this more often, talking about other topics and things like that as we get deeper into She Shed and into Radford Real Talk. And I thank y'all. And please feel free to email me if you have other topics that you want to talk about, whether it's the She Shed or just in general. We're going to be in a way soon having guests, and whether it's a phone call, Zoom, whatever, we're going to also be doing that. So that's also to come. But I really appreciate you all for listening, and I really appreciate the support. Please send this out, y'all. Send it out to other people who need to hear this. And we all need the encouragement. We all got to look out for each other, because you know what, only you will treat you the way that you gonna treat you. Nobody else is gonna treat you the way that you treat you. And we have to be aware of that, and we have to take care of us. So ladies, I thank you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and we'll be back again soon. What the topic will be, not sure. Y'all know how we do. We just go with the flow. So love you guys. Enjoy your Sunday and get some self-care in. Peace.